Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. Today date is 14th of November 2022 and in our today's video we are going to see IOC and DI. So basically IOC stands for inversion of control and DI stands for dependency injection. So what those terms are we are using in our spring, let's we see. Before that we have to see what is a spring. So spring is a one kind of a framework which we are using at a time of development. Okay. So if that spring has a IOC and DI inbuilt features. So why we need that IOC and DI? Let's we see. Suppose there was a two classes. There's a class 1 and class A and class B is there. Class A can contain a method of class B. That means suppose class B having a method run and we have to use that run method in class A. That means class A is completely depends on class B. So for that, what we do, we can extend the properties from we can extend the class B to the class A. That means all those properties are present in class A can be extended in class B, class A. So that time we are able to get the all the properties or all those methods which are present. So what actually problem is happen that when we are using those concepts, that time it might be a tightly coupled. That means there is a tightly coupled relation between those classes. If we are make more that tightly coupled, then we are not able to make any changes in particular class. If we are doing changes in class B, it reflect on class A. So that's why if our code is it's not problem for a small code, we can create object one by one. But if there is a LOC of code is 100 plus, that time it occur a huge problem for a changing. That means we are not going to make it as a tightly coupled. But Java can having inheritance their hoops. That's why it's maybe work as a tightly coupled. So for avoiding the tightly couple, Java can introduce in our Spring they can introduce IOC and DI. So Spring framework is developed in 2003, and that time they provide a inversion of controller and dependency injection. Dependency injection means we are adding some dependency or some properties of another class in at the location at which we are required, and dependency is works on IOC. That means inversion of control. So inversion of control means if we are going back, if we are going backward, that time we are in Java, we are using a new keyword for creating an object. That means in class B, we have to create an object of class A. That time we have to write some lines like suppose class A obj is equal to new class A. So that time we are creating a new object. So that time if we are going to use new keyword, that time sub memory allocation is done by using a new keyword. That's why it's consume some space in the our heap memory. It's directly impacting on a performance of that code. That's why we have to reduce that LOC and we have to reduce the consumption of code or consumption of memory in our code, because improving the performance of our code. That time we are not going to create an object. Instead of that creating object, we can directly use inversion of control. That means the inversion of control means we are giving the control of creating object to the Spring. In that case, we are not directly create object by using new keyword. We only pass the command to Spring for creating an object. That means there was a two classes in Spring, and we have to use class B's method in class A. That time only we have to use the class name and directly we can write the object. So we easily get the data from class B to class A. That time we no need to create any object or create any new syntax for the get the object from another class. So that dependency is passed towards the Spring. That is the inversion of control. That means we are passing the control of creating object to the Spring. That's why we can achieve the minimum LOC. After that, inversion of dependency injection means at which position or at what location we require any object, that time we are going to call the object from another class. So how we call it? There was two methods to calling the object from another class. That time we can call that object by using XML file and by using annotation. We can discuss briefly about those both points in another video, but these are the two methods for for the calling the object from another class to the in class. That means if you are going to see about the annotation, that time we are using the @@wide annotation. If you are write the @@wide annotation about the any syntax, suppose we are going to call object from we are going to call method from class B to the class A. Within class A, we are simply write the class name of which we are going to require object from that class. We have to write the name of that class, that is B and obj. Only we have to write that the class name and object reference, that is the A and B and obj. And above that line we have to write the annotation annotation as @@wide. By using that annotation we are pass that exact position or exact class, and in which class we have to call the object from another class. So there is not any kind of our trouble or developers trouble how to create how to create that object or which memory is consumed by the particular objects. So that is completely reduced by the using a Spring. So that is main and important feature which we are using at the time of development of code for reducing the LOC and for increasing the performance by using Spring framework. So this is overall about IOC and DI. Thank you.